One thing that we've definitely been seeing a lot more of in the modern day is comedians being punished for the jokes that they tell, either by getting arrested or having the cancel vultures come after them and trying to destroy them and ruin their life. However, I mean, we always knew the Taliban would take something like that a little bit further, and this is something that happened recently. The day the Taliban captured and executed obscene Afghan TikTok comedian who carried on telling jokes about the militia even as they dragged him away in Kandahar. So this man has just been captured by the fucking Taliban and he's still cracking jokes and making fun of them. Nazar Mohammed filmed being taken away from his home in Kandahar province. The video shows a Taliban fighter sitting on either side of him, one with a Kalashnikov. One insurgent slaps him repeatedly in the face as he makes jokes about the Taliban right in front of the Taliban. He was later found dead after reportedly being shot and having his throat slit. This is the moment an Afghan comedian continued to mock the Taliban as fighters from the insurgent group dragged him away from his home before later executing him by firing squad. In a viral video filmed at the end of July, Nazar Mohammed, better known as Kashaswan, can be seen in the back of a car with an insurgent on either side of him, one of them brandishing a Kalashnikov machine gun. He was known for routines that poked fun at the Taliban through song and dance, including some that were uploaded to his TikTok account. In the video of his final moments, Mohammed continues to make jokes about the group after his capture, causing the Taliban fighter to his right to begin slapping him across the face. So even though he's surrounded by men with guns, even though he's getting slapped in the face, even though he knows he is being taken to his death, the man kept making jokes. The man to his left is seen laughing throughout before menacingly switching his gun for an even bigger looking firearm. I mean, at least, at least they made the Taliban laugh. And there's pictures of the boy there with him getting taken away in the car. That's such a waste, man. That's so shite. Boy with a gun. Oh, the Taliban gangs are having sex with dead bodies. Yeah, I've seen some stuff about that. Don't know if it's true though, but wouldn't put it past them. According to reports, photos show him backed up against a tree and then lying on the ground with his throat cut. The Taliban initially denied involvement in the star's death before admitting responsibility and confirming the two men in the car were Taliban. The group said the suspects had been arrested and will be tried in a Taliban court, where I am certain they will face justice. The group alleged that Nazar from the Kandahar province was involved in the torture and killing of Taliban, adding that he should have faced a Taliban court, but instead of being immediately put to death. He was in charge of capturing and killing the Taliban, really, and it had nothing to do with his popular TikTok account where he makes fun of the Taliban. Nazar previously worked for the Afghan National Police, making him a target for revenge killings, and was known for his crude jokes and funny songs. Yeah, basically, if you worked in any establishment that assisted America or like Britain or anybody like that during the last 20 years, if you worked for any of them, like you're dead. That's it. The Taliban are already going around and rounding everybody up and killing them. Anybody that helped the Americans, anybody that helped the British and all that, they're all getting rounded up and killed. He would regularly make fun of topics suggested by his followers, with the Taliban being no exception. His brutal killing at the end of July sparked fears of revenge killings as Afghanistan falling city by city to the Taliban. Zwan left behind a wife and daughters. Fuck's sake. After his death, Ziadu Yusuf, whoever the hell that is, whose daughter Malala Yousafzai, blah, these bloody names, man. Malala Yousafzai survived being shot in the head by Taliban militants in Pakistan in 2012, was among those who paid tribute on social media. Others who denounced the death include Sarwar Danesh, the Afghan vice president, before the Taliban took over Kabul this month. He said that slapping Zwan was the same as slapping all of the Afghan people and said his killing was against Afghan culture. It was also one of the first major dents in the insurgent group's attempt to brand itself as Taliban 2.0. Leaders promised that no harm would come to those working for the government, the US military, or anyone associated with American organizations. Uh-huh. There's all the tributes and everything for it. It's just like like the guy's obviously just taking the piss, man. However, the list of alleged atrocities and human rights abuses has only mounted in recent weeks. Human rights group Amnesty International revealed last week that Taliban fighters massacred 9 ethnic Hazara men after taking control of the country's Ghazni province last month, with eyewitnesses giving harrowing accounts of the killings. 6 men were shot and 3 were tortured to death, including one man who was strangled with his own scarf and had his arm muscle sliced off during the atrocity, which took place between July the 4th to 6th in the village of Mundarat, Malistan district, the group revealed. Despite the organisation's claims it would not seek vengeance to those who fought their tyranny, one regional police chief who stood against them was executed in cold blood by the jihadist group, report says. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to think that the Taliban might not be men of their word. And I mean, I think it's, I like to, I do my best to try and see the best in people. Even if someone is awful, I will try and find, that little diamond in the rough. But I don't think the Taliban are men of their word. I'm sorry, I just don't. I just don't. Maybe that's just me. Shocking video footage being circulated on the internet shows the kneeling, handcuffed, and blindfolded figure of General Haji Mullah so who cares about these names? I mean, I care about the people, but just fuck their names, man. Chief of Baghdad province near Herat being gunned down in a hail of bullets. The grey-haired commander was reported to have been arrested by the Taliban after they seized the area near the Turkmenistan border in their lightning advance late last week. The disturbing clip was retweeted by former BBC Persia journalist Nasrin Nawa after it emerged on the feed of an apparent resistant group the Taliban called Panjshir Province. General Ashis, who cares? In the early 60s, in his early 60s, was an avowed enemy of the Taliban and known as a seasoned fighter in the long-running conflict between the group and the forces of the Afghan civil government, which fell at the weekend. According to reports, the governor and police chief of Lagman province near Jalalabad and in eastern Afghanistan have also been detained, with their fate to be decided by the Taliban High Command, which is going to be execution. The brutal executions follows numerous reports of Taliban patrols going door to door in some areas and taking men of fighting age into detention. And while Taliban militants searched for a journalist for German broadcaster Deutsche Welle, one of the reporter's family members was shot dead, according to local reports. Now the jihadis are intensifying their hunt for those who dared to work with UK, US and NATO forces in Afghanistan, a confidential UN report reveals. And adverts. Yeah, see all of this. Oh, don't worry. We're not going to hurt anyone. We're not going to kill anyone. They're the Taliban. They're the Taliban. Anyone that did anything at all against them, or even people in this case that make fun of them, they're going to come and get them. They're going to kill them. There's going to be mass executions all over Taliban. They're talking about all over Taliban, all over Afghanistan, but they're talking. Don't worry, there'll be a Taliban court. Everyone has a right to a fair trial. So don't worry, we're going to take it to Taliban court. Remember the court in the Batman movie where it was when it was Scarecrow was the judge. It's gonna be worse than that. Taliban court. It's gonna be even worse than that. I've got a feeling that there's going to be a 100% conviction rate. I've got a feel. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've got a feeling that Taliban court has a 100% conviction rate, even higher than Japan, and that's in the fucking high 90s. 100% conviction rate, and I've got a feeling that 100% of the sentences handed out are going to be executions. I've got a feeling, but it's okay. No human rights were violated because they had a fair trial. They had a fair trial, so it's fine. It's not a problem. But see the reason. Now, this is a lot of people may be saying that's a hell of an overreaction for someone that was telling jokes. Now, it seems their reason for it, the primary reason, was because he assisted the Americans and he assisted in fighting against the Taliban in the past, but also him being semi-popular online and making fun of them and all that. Well, it doesn't help, because if there's one thing that authoritarians don't like, it's people mocking them and making fun of them, because it makes them a lot less scary and people take them less seriously. Why do you think the governments these days really don't like people making fun of them? I mean, shit, the SNP so far have arrested, I think, about 3 or 4 people for calling Nicola Sturgeon a Nazi or making fun of her. They've already arrested 4 people for doing that. So essentially, the Taliban are doing what our governments wish they could do. But basically, this is absolutely terrible. Like the guy, even if he was helping the Americans in the past and everything, like the Taliban, don't worry, we won't kill anyone, we promise. You know, maybe those words would have been worth something if they weren't from the fucking Taliban.